Got to tell you, you guys, TFB TV viewers, the hatinest haters out there, we have the biggest belligerent butthole collection of commenters on YouTube. Can't say I hate it though. Reminds me of growing up as a middle child in a three-boy household. Just brutal. But do you remember, do you, how mad you guys got at SIG when it felt like they rushed out the P365 and some of the early copies had problems? Or when they made like the third or fourth or seventh generation of the MCX in less than a decade? SIG shouldn't beta test on us. They should have waited until it was done right? The more analytical of the TFB TV viewership watching right now may see where I'm going with this. There are going to be two major complaints about HK's new CC9. The biggest of them will be that this gun is in 40 S&W. And frankly, I think that this is really smart of HK. Just kidding, 40 S&W, deader than Carl Weathers, RIP buddy. The main complaint will be that this took too long to release. I'll tell you why I kind of agree with you at the end of this video, but here's how I see it. As somebody who has handled this gun for years now, there's no question in my mind that in typical German fashion, this gun was over-tested. As you'll see in this video, I shot a prototype that was good enough for production over 3 years ago, May of 2021, and at that point, the CC9 had already been in development for 3.5 years. This new pistol was subjected to the exact same battery of tests as the HK USP, a legendarily durable and reliable handgun. Any of this outdoor B-roll you see in this video is from my shooting a prototype of this pistol 3 years ago for several days, and when I was done shooting, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of rounds through it, I said to HK, this gun's ready to release. What's taking so long? They told me they wanted to make sure that it was done correctly, that it was done perfectly, so that's addressing the first complaint that you'll have, that this gun took too long. Now, the second biggest complaint is going to be that this gun looks a little bit like a Taurus G3C or whatever, and I'm not going to touch that one. But I will say HK did a great job with the ergos. As you'll see in this video, a lot of thought went into ergonomics of the frame specifically. Aesthetically, maybe we wanted to see a mini USP, immaculate vibes, right? Assuring HK's dominance in the micro-compact arena had it gone that way. But looks don't matter much when it comes to personal defense. Performance is king, and we'll talk about performance after we talk about the development cycle and the specs. Back in 2021, I interviewed my buddy Bill Dermody from HK USA, and here's what he had to say about the CC9 and how it came to be. Here's Bill.
This is the first gun designed and built in the U.S. We've done some assembly of guns in the U.S. before. We've never manufactured a gun in the U.S. If you're not aware, almost everything we sell is manufactured in Oberndorf, Germany, or at least manufactured from parts that come from our factory in Oberndorf, Germany. This is the first designed and built in the U.S. and, more importantly, the first product that HK has ever made that was designed exclusively for the U.S. civilian market first. We've had a lot of great products, great consumer products, that were first targeted for a military application or a law enforcement application, and then people like you and I just kind of got them too, right? But this is designed for us. What we set out to do with this gun is, you know, our slogan for many, many years has been no compromise in it. And with small guns, there tend to be lots of compromises. You compromise on the shootability of that product. You know, they're snappy little guns, they're difficult to shoot. And then you also, on the reliability, things are getting better, but historically smaller guns have been less reliable than larger guns. And so that our priority in this and our philosophy is, I don't know if you've heard enough chattering about everyday carry, everyday carry, everyday carry. I have. Everyday carry isn't about every day at all. It's about that day. It's about the worst day of your life. So what kind of gun do you want to be carrying on the worst day of your life? Do you want it to be the smallest, itty-bittiest, tiniest little toy that you could possibly conceal? Or do you want it to be a really, really gunfighter's gun that's shootable, that's reliable, and that's where we feel like we're making an improvement in the marketplace with the CC9.
How did this come about? Like, at what point did somebody say, hey, you know what, this is a good idea?
It really came into what I was saying earlier is you look at the marketplace, and it's easy for us to say as HK from a corporate perspective why we want to be in this segment, right? People are selling a lot of guns, we want to make some of that money too. But from a consumer perspective, where's the need? And that's what we felt, like we could challenge the shootability of the small gun, the concept that they're harder to shoot, and then we can challenge the reliability of a small gun. So what we've done, we've just agonized over the frame, the shape, and the configuration of this gun. It's a full grip hand. You know, the guns where you're, first thing anybody does who has one of these pinky danglers is what I call them, is get an extended magazine for them, and not necessarily for the additional rounds, but because you just can't control the gun without, we've been here training and taking shooting lessons, and one of the things we've learned is, if most of your grip comes from your middle finger, basically you've created a fulcrum for that gun to pivot on, right?
Right,
So
hop
farther
around in your
down
hand,
on
yeah.
that grip you can get with your grip force, the less flip you're going to get. So really having that little finger on the gun was a priority. Little things like the undercut of the underneath the trigger guard, the texture, everything, the shape. We've got interchangeable back straps on it, which is unique in this size category. And the back straps are set up in such that it actually changes the length of pull. One thing that's critical on this gun for the shootability piece is the length of pull. What you're saying is the distance from the trigger to where your web of your hand would go is actually larger than a lot of the guns in the category, because a lot of those smaller guns, your hand gets kind of cramped up on it, and your trigger control suffers. You feel like you need to jam your whole finger in there up to the second knuckle, and it's just not a good way to shoot. So, how do you keep the whole gun small, but make that grip a little bit deeper and make it a little more shootable?
Talk to me about the development cycle. Like, how long has this been in the works? Everybody wants to know that.
This has been about 3.5 years in the making.
Wow.
So.
Okay, and then what did you guys do in terms of testing? There had to have been some roadblocks, there had to have been some challenges. What did you do?
Well, it's called research and development. It's not called just making guns, right?
Yeah.
For a reason. So yeah, there were lots of iterations and guns that failed and guns that succeeded and guns that succeeded in one way and failed in another, and that's just the whole process. I don't know that makes us unique. Where I think this gun is unique is the standard we're holding it to is, so it was shootability and reliability, right? The testing process on this gun, we're shooting it to all the same NATO tests that we would shoot a .416 rifle for the military for.
But what's the production version this gonna look like? Here's the prototype. Look at it for 3 seconds. Now here's the production version. Can you see any differences? I've got the specs for the production model, which is out today, right here. First off, ambi controls. Big win for the 10% of you whose mothers did whippets when they were pregnant. It also comes with changeable back straps so you can customize the grip for your hand size. A Picatinny rail up front gives you plenty of room to mount your favorite light or laser. The pistol features the RMSC shield optic footprint, making it optics ready in the most common footprint right out of the box without any bullshit plates. Side note, poll of my viewers showed that only about 1/3 of you actually use a light or a laser on your carry guns, so I'm meh on pick rails on guns this small. Maybe I'd rather see a clean dust cover, but you know what? It's modular. This is a chassis-based system like the SIG P365, so maybe we'll see that mini USP. Maybe we'll see a slick dust cover if we want one. If you want an idea of dimensions, here's my comparison at the Neutral Ground Gun Company with the SIG P365 series and the HK CC9. I know the first question that a lot of you are going to ask is, how does the CC9 here by HK stack up with the P365 and the P365 XL? CC9 with the magazine it's got in there right now, 10 round capacity flush fit. The regular P365, 10 round capacity. The XL, 12 round capacity. 0.99. So less than an inch thick, and you can see them going off the frame, not off the slide. So that's pretty impressive. Wow, it's pretty uniform. You're looking at about 0.99 on the grip too. That's really impressive. So you've got a very flat gun. Nice. Compare that with the 365. Oh, 0.90. The P365 gonna be slightly thinner, but not really enough to tell a difference. The CC9, surprisingly flat. The CC9 looks to be about 1/4 inch longer than the 365. So maybe you're getting more barrel there. Now this part might piss some people off. 10 round capacity in both of these guns. And you can see that the CC9 is a little bit larger than the P365, which has the exact same capacity. Now, one advantage, and this is maybe how I would carry it, you had the 12 rounder, you get a full grip on the pistol. It's still going to be larger than the 365. Now, if you compare that with the XL, once you have the 12 rounder in, now you're kind of even, right? I guess what I'm trying to say here is that with the CC9, you're almost looking at like a SIG P365X type gun. That is 12 round butt, right? A little bit longer barrel. It's actually a little bit shorter than the XL. So it's kind of in between these two guns. I think if you're carrying this pistol, you're carrying it with the 12 round. I think that's the play. But if you do want to carry 10 rounds, you've got the capability. That's right, this gun's an inch thick, only 6 inches long, 4.5 inches tall, with a 10-round magazine with a 3.3-inch barrel, right in kind of the sweet spot for compact with decent ballistic performance for EDC. The sights are another strong point for this gun. It's got a high visibility front sight with a tritium night sight insert, and it's got a rear sight that's been blacked out. That means that this combo is higher visibility than a rich single mom and a tube top when my sight's blacked out. I mentioned it earlier, this uses a chassis platform, meaning that frame swapping is an option. The serialized component, serial numbers back here, is this frame insert, meaning that is the legal gun. So you can buy as many different frames as you want if HK chooses to release them, or if third parties make them, like Mischief Machine, for example. You can just swap out that serialized component. You can buy as many frames as you want, and you're not buying another gun, which is a really cool feature. And of course, it wouldn't be an HK without a hammer forged steel barrel with polygonal rifling. You get the accuracy and the long-lasting durability HK has always been known for. Safety-wise, it's got a trigger safety, it's got a firing pin safety, and it's got a disassembly safety, but no manual safety, at least on this copy. It comes with a 10+1 magazine you see here, and a 12+1 magazine with the slightest additional length for a little pinky ledge. The HK CC9 weighs 20.5 ounces with a magazine, which puts it on the same ballpark as other popular compact pistols. The Glock 26, an ounce heavier. The SIG P365 XL, 20.7 ounces, just barely lighter than both. To sum it up, the HK CC9 looks like it's going to be a serious contender in the compact market on paper. But how about performance? It's really good too. Accuracy, 7 yards and inside. Realistic use case for this type of pistol is outstanding. This gun actually shoots really well. Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Ragged.
Fantastic. God, easy as it can be. I mean, for a micro compact, like it shoots, for a gun this tiny, it shoots. I'm calling it a day. Ergonomics are on point, the gun feels great, recoil's manageable, the trigger pulls about 5 pounds, standard for its class. Best triggers for the micro compact, in my opinion, that market, probably the FN Reflex and the M&P Shield 2.0, while HK is going to share the not bad Butterface table with Glock and SIG. On paper, great gun. At the range, great gun. Is it the most durable and reliable Compact 9 ever made? According to HK it is, and it better be after roughly 7 years of R&D and testing. But would I get the HK CC9 today? Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. This gun was very late to market. I told you guys at the beginning of the video that I agreed with this chief criticism. HK went to the bodega for cigarettes, never came back. In the meantime, mommy's going to church with Glock and getting peach bellinis at the Cheesecake Factory with SIG. While I deeply appreciate how much time, how much development went into this pistol to make sure that it was perfect, that simply doesn't change the objective fact that its competitors have had over half a decade of a head start on the market. Now, I've been giving you guys the formula for success for years now, for free. I've been giving you this advice. So this is all you need to know if you're going to release a gun. If you can't be first, then you need to do something different, or you need to be cheaper, or you need to be better. Let's knock price out right now. The CC9, shock, I know it's HK, not cheaper. MSRP $699. Assuming that means street price around $600, this is relatively in line with the market. Street price on its primary competition, SIG P365X or XL, about the same. But is it different? Is it better? On paper, it's about the same. You could read off the specs and the feature set from the SIG P365X side by side with the CC9, you wouldn't know which was which. And I could say the same thing about performance. This gun shoots well. It's an accurate gun with a great feature set, but the competition in this sector is fierce because the same can be said for many of the good guns already available to you today at about the same price point. Realistically, the main draw here is that hardcore, proven reliability that HK pistols are famous for. Got to emphasize this gun was developed to NATO AC225 spec over a very, very long development cycle. If ultimate reliability and durability are paramount to you, this is your gun. At the same time, are any of you complaining about how unreliable your Glock 43X or your SIG P365 or your Springfield Hellcat is? Do I really need a micro compact carry pistol that I can shoot 20,000 rounds through before I put it into the shitter of a 737 and fire that bitch 15,000 feet from the air into P. Diddy's swimming pool full of Astroglide? I don't know. Also, this gun's brand new. I'm pretty sure there's going to be plenty of holsters available for it someday, if not today, but I don't realistically see this gun ever approaching P365 unit numbers or level of accessories. It's just too late. Now, there is one wild card. If you can't do it different, if you can't do it cheaper, if you can't do it better, then at least have so many loyal fans that all you need to do is show up. Arguably, this is what buoyed the Glock 43X, and it'll probably save HK here. If I didn't own a micro compact already, I would very highly recommend this pistol as an option, especially once holsters are available. Knowing HK, there should be a good selection of holster options at launch. With its optics-ready design, its ambidextrous controls, slim, lightweight build, excellent performance, ultimate durability and reliability, it's got everything you'd expect from HK, but with a price that's pretty reasonable, in line with the competition. The Ace Up HK's sleeve is also the same reason it needs an Ace Up its sleeve, a 7-year-long developmental cycle to ensure utter dependability. So let me know what you think in the comments. Will the HK CC9 be your next carry gun? As always, stay tuned for more reviews. I'll catch you on the next one. By the way, please consider supporting us. I didn't accept any money from HK. Subscribestar.com/TFBTV or Player, Utreon, whatever, player.com/TFBTV. We give away 6 Top Gun Supply gift certificates in the amount of $250 every single month to randomly selected supporters. We give away 4 $100 Blue Alpha gift certificates every single month to 4 randomly selected supporters. That's a lot of giveaways every month. Plus, you've got behind the scenes content, access to VIP only patches, and access to our Discord where you can chat directly with me if you like. Anyways, thanks again for watching, guys. Take care.